What am I, sticky buggers? Hello, it's time for episode 33 of Podemup. This month we're talking about obscure Japanese-only PS2 platformer Poinie's Poin. We also have thoughts on the announcements from the recent Sonic Central livestream. Hello, welcome back to Podemup. We're on episode 33, I believe.
Flies by, yeah.
Yeah, it does. I'm Ollie. That man there is Tibbs.
I am. Hello.
And we are Podemup. That was surprisingly a good intro for considering I wasn't mentally prepared for that at all.
Yeah, it's good.
As I was just saying. But yeah, it's not bad, is it? It's nice weather again, finally.
Yeah, mostly, yeah.
I'm sitting up in my little room here, and I would have the window open because it's boiling hot in here. But I seem to be have two different bank holiday parties in the gardens outside my house, just wedged between them. So probably best not.
You make it sound like you're locked away, like up in my little room, like you're the man in the Iron Mask.
I kind of am, yeah.
Just stuck away in the.
Well, I am because it's only a small room, but I've got all my stuff crammed in here, so it really is like a kind of.
Little man cave.
It's a man cave, but it's there's not a lot. It's not very roomy, but I make do.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah. So how you been? What you been up to?
Yeah, a bit of I don't know. Just want to. It's been a weird time. Lots of work stress.
Yeah.
Lots of games to fit in.
Yeah.
It's all been a bit hairy, scary, but yeah, it's been all right. How about you?
Well, I've been mostly playing games with my daughter this month, actually.
Oh, good.
Yeah, so I've been playing. I've been back on Mario Maker 2.
Of
course, I love making little levels for her to kind of get into platforming a bit. Gradually trying to push her further and further into kind of dangerous territory. I made a level called Alice Meets a Goomba the other day, which didn't go down well, to be honest.
Oh.
She much prefers levels without any kind of peril whatsoever. But yeah, even those you can do fun things. Like I put her in that little flying thing that Cooper, what's his name, Bowser Jr. flies around, and you can get in it and you can fly around. And I just made a little course where you have to collect 100 coins and you just have to bounce between stuff, and she enjoys that. Yeah. But
that's good.
Yeah, but she's getting better at actually sitting and watching me play. Because before she would just want to take the controller and have a go herself quite a lot, but now it's quite good because I can just sort of sit and play a game and she'll just happily sit and watch me, which is quite good. So
you don't have to share.
Exactly, so I don't have to share. Yeah, because it is a pain. I might go now. Oh, God, all right, yeah. And she's not fooled by the old give her the second controller that isn't actually connected thing. That's she got past that quite a while back. Yeah. But I have been going through the single player in Mario Maker 2 because I never really did much of that the first time around, where you have to rebuild the castle.
Yeah.
So that's been quite good fun because those are lovely little designed levels, aren't they?
There are, so there's some really good ones.
And most of them aren't just like general Mario levels. They're usually themed to a particular thing, like they make use of a particular object or an idea, and each one kind of introduces you to a new idea that you could put into your own levels, and it's really good fun. If you find a level too hard, you just sort of back out and try another one. There's loads of options and stuff. So, yeah, I've been enjoying that a lot.
Yeah, it's a good game.
We've also been playing some Sonic. We've done Sonic Mania a lot, in the last sort of year or so. So I've tried her on Sonic 2. She sort of plays as Tails, tagging along, which is a great mode really if you've got like an inexperienced player or a young kid, because you can sort of carry on and they're involved, but pretty much most of the stuff they do is fairly inconsequential. But yeah, so the only pain is just to sort of keep her on the screen as much as you can, you know.
Yeah.
But I've tried her on Sonic 2, and she wasn't that keen on that one because she can't fly as Tails in Sonic 2. So she likes just flying around and like airlifting me. So we've been playing through Sonic 3 Angel Island Revisited. So that's been quite good. And that one, if you've only played that on single player, that's got a little mode in it, like a little addition, where if you're Tails and you go off the screen, you see a little Tails icon where Tails is in relation to you, which is quite useful.
Yeah, that's really sweet.
Yeah, it's lovely. Been playing a bit of Ristar as well. That's not co-op, but she sort of sits and watches me enjoy that. I've only ever got to level 3 on that before, whenever I've sat and played it. So I was
going to say, that's a game we should cover.
Definitely. It's you know, it's one of those classic hidden gem games that, you know, a lot of people talk about, isn't it? This kind of thing. So I think Ristar will be on the list one day.
Yeah, definitely.
But I'm playing through it now anyway. I'm up to about level 4 now. It's a really, really good little platform, isn't it?
Yeah, it's brilliant. Yeah, the music's fantastic.
It's one of the best Mega Drive soundtracks, definitely.
Yeah. Sadly, just another franchise that Sega sat on doing nothing with.
I know. It's literally that one game, isn't it? That and his appearance in Sonic All-Stars Transformed, I think, is the only 2 appearances of Ristar, is it?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. And in that is barely an appearance. He sort of waves the flag, doesn't he?
He does, yeah. That's he's a mascot too. Just give him something to do. He can wave the flag. Go on. He
can wave the flag. He's happy with that.
He's happy. Yeah. What else have I done? I went back and finished Lollipop Chainsaw.
Oh, cool.
Because I was right at the end of that, so I've managed to find time to go and complete that. It is a cracking game, that, isn't it?
Oh, it's brilliant, isn't it? Yeah. That final boss is mental.
Yeah. Oh, really well worth sticking through if you were playing along with us and you didn't quite finish it. It's great final boss and sort of twist at the end as well, I think. So. Yeah. Very good. That's kind of all I've been playing, really. I haven't really got my teeth stuck into things. I've been playing I've been doing a few bits in preparation for our next episode, but we'll talk about that later.
Yeah,
we've got a couple of interesting things planned. But yeah, so how about you? What have you been up to?
I've been playing. I've actually got through quite a few. Well, at least 2 big games since the last show. I did Ghost of Tsushima on PS4.
Okay.
It's are you familiar with the game?
No, not at all. Not really.
You're a samurai, and it's based in the period of Japan's history where the Mongols tried to invade Japan, basically, and they started on the island of Tsushima, and you play as a samurai. All the samurai are slaughtered by the Mongols, and you're like one of the last ones who remain, and you have to reclaim the island of Tsushima, and that's it basically. I won't say more, but because there's all twists and turns in the story that I don't want to spoil.
Yeah.
But it's really cool. There's a few times it forces your hand to do things that I'm not really. I wasn't happy about at first, because the whole thing it drills into you the samurai code of honor. So you don't sneak attack people. You face them face to face, and you give them a chance to defend themselves. And
right.
It's really drilled into you that a samurai fights with honor, and he doesn't resort to sneaky tactics. There's a few times where it kind of forces your hand, where you don't really have a choice but to do something sneaky and do something dishonourable, and I didn't like that at first, because when I played it, I thought went in with the mindset, okay, well, I get what they're doing now. It's kind of like in games where you get the choice to be good or bad, and it all So I thought it was going to be like that, and I thought, right, I'm going to play as an honourable samurai.
I see. So you have to do something bad,
and you have to do a few bad things, and it really sort of it may rub me up the wrong way a little bit at first, because I thought, wow, you can't lay out this mechanic and then just say, well, actually, no, you've got to do this. But it does serve a purpose in the grand story of the whole game.
Okay.
But yeah, it's really cool. It's a beautiful game. It's really, really just a gorgeous game. It's one of those games you could just wander around. It's open world.
I was going to say it's open world.
Yeah, it's open world, and you could just wander around and see the sights. It's one of the few games where I think, because they got a photograph mode in it, and I don't think I ever use photograph modes in games. I don't really.
No.
But it's one of the ones where I think, yeah, you can actually take some really good little screenshots and some really nice artistic sort of looking things in there.
Okay.
And it's even got a mode in there where you can play the whole game in black and white, so it actually feels more like an old classic samurai film. But yeah, cool. It's a really cool game. I really enjoyed it. It took me, I don't know how many hours to complete. I think it's probably about 16, 17 hours.
Okay.
It's got a few of the usual open world annoyances where sometimes it just feels like you're arbitrarily being sent to pick up random things on a map. There'll just be, one of the tasks is there's 40 flags hidden across the map that you have to get, and I just can't be bothered with it.
I'm much the same about open world games. I've got, I don't know, they really have to kind of grab me,
Yeah, I mean, there's lots of optional side quests in the game that are worth doing, because you can unlock new armor and weapon upgrades and things like that, and you can complete the game fine without them, but they're really handy to get. And those sort of things, I don't mind going across the map and going to different places and doing all these little point-to-point things, but some of them where it just feels like it's in there just to pad out the game. Collect 40 flags. Why? I know some people like it. Some people love it to get all the platinum trophies or whatever.
Yeah.
But it's not for me. But yeah, I would say highly recommend it. Well worth picking up. The second game I played through was Dishonored on the PS3.
Okay. Yep.
It's another. It's not really. No, it's not open world, but it's kind of a game where you can choose how you want to play it. It's possible to complete the whole game without killing anyone. It's kind of like a steampunk Victorian era stealth 'em up, and you play a bodyguard to the Empress. And the Empress has been murdered, and you've been framed for a murder, and you have to beat the bad guy behind it all, and reclaim the throne for the good guys.
I'm trying to think if I've played a demo of this, but it's a fairly oldish game now. I mean,
I think it is fairly,
not super recent.
It's not super recent, no, not at all.
Is it first person?
First person.
Yeah, I think I might have played a demo of this.
Yeah, and there's like all rats going about, and
yeah.
It's not bad. I wanted to like it more than I did, I think. The controls are a little bit janky. There's this... One of the key sort of powers you get, you unlock these sort of supernatural powers, and you can choose whether you use them for good or evil, that kind of thing. But one of the key powers that you've got is it's almost like a teleport, but you can pick a point within a certain radius of you, and you can straight forward to that point, really fast.
Yeah.
And you can go up and climb onto things with it. You can climb onto ledges, you can climb onto lampposts and things. If it's something you can climb on, the little icon that, where you select where you're going to go, if you can climb onto it, it changes into these little up arrows. Sometimes it's really hard to notice whether it's showing the up arrows or it's just the normal thing. So there'll be times where you think, okay, I'm going to jump and climb onto that, and you just fall straight down and either die because you took too much fall damage, or you fall straight into a bunch of enemies and it ruins your whole plan. And it happens so many times.
So it's just a matter of the iconography, basically.
Yeah,
it's not clear enough. Yeah.
It's not clear enough. And sometimes I checked my controller to make sure there's no drift on the analog sticks. Yeah. But sometimes I could have sworn that it was all lined up perfectly and it just didn't work.
Yeah, I mean, on the icon thing, I find a lot of games like that. Button press icons, when it tells you to press a button, it's very hard to tell which buttons they mean sometimes.
Yeah.
And like on the stick, you have to get really close to the screen. It's another of my bugbears, really small text and icons.
Do you know what? I was about to say that. maybe I'm just getting old, but I notice it particularly in Dishonored.
Yeah.
I couldn't make out a bloody thing.
Yeah, it's such a common problem with like AAA games these days, and it has been for a number of years now. You've got to get right up close. What do you actually want me to do? Is it up? Is it down?
Yeah.
It winds me up. No,
it really does. Luckily, in Dishonored, they have got some accessibility options where you can crank up the size of all the in-game icons, and that makes it doable. Yeah. But I remember back when I first got my Xbox 360 way back when.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, 2007 or something. I didn't have a HD telly then. I just had an old CRT little one.
Yeah. I had the exact same thing. I got it.
Dead Rising was the one. When I played Dead Rising, you couldn't read a bloody thing on it.
Oh, playing a 360 on a little... I had a little portable CRT, like a 14-inch one.
Yeah, mine was much bigger than that, yeah.
Yeah, but it's just... and you couldn't make head nor tail of anything on that.
It's
at
all. I wonder if it's the same thing, because I mean, the telly I've got now, I've had for probably about 9 years. You know, so it's 1080p, but you know, in this era of like 4K, 8K, HDR, you know, massive screens. Is it just that is it that same situation again? Is it just because I've got an old telly? I don't know.
Always feel like these kind of games are aiming at people who have the latest kind of TV that's really, really massive, like 65-inch or whatever, something ridiculous like that. And it's just right. This will look great on. I'm sure it does, because then you can probably see the icons fairly clear.
I'm sure it does, but who's got the room or money for that?
It's baffling, isn't it? People do, though. You'd be surprised. But I mean, what about the rest of us? You know, I mean, as long as it's good that they added an accessibility option for that, because I think that's something every game needs.
There's some games that don't know. I've got Worms, Weapons of Mass Destruction, because I love the Worms games, the classic 2D Worms games.
Who doesn't? Yeah, brilliant.
And I can't play it. I can't play the game. The icons are too small.
Yeah.
You know, I tried it on Game Pass, because I thought, maybe, because I got it on Switch, and I thought, well, maybe the Game Pass one, you know, maybe it's like a port of the PC one, and it's you know, nothing. And I can't play it. It makes me sad.
It's a terrible thing, isn't it? I mean, on PC, I suppose you're closer to the screen, so it might make more sense. So maybe they based it on that, and then haven't bothered to change it when they move it to consoles, you know?
Yeah. But I mean, I got my glasses on. I should be able to, you know...
Oh, well, yeah, it's ridiculous. I mean, you'd think that something like that would come up during development at some point, you know. But
unless, like you say, you know, well, I suppose when they in the developer's office, I bet they got massive, nice big screens.
Oh, yeah, that's the thing. Yeah,
you know, they don't, you know, they don't nip down cash converters and buy a load of old clunkers just to make sure it works on them, do they?
No, but they should.
They should.
They really, really should. I mean... In my work, we make little games for kids, and we have to make sure that they work on the crappiest device, because kids get the hand-me-down devices.
Exactly. Yeah,
and you know, we work with the BBC and do games and stuff, and they test our games on the most terrible little devices. And you know, if they don't work on them, then you got to go back and just make
sure it works.
Make sure it works, and it's ridiculous. But games companies should be doing the same with TVs and things like that for, you know, accessibility, because there's a whole range of ways we can play their games.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's just something you've got to do.
You know, I know 4K is out there now, and I know 8K is out there, but 1080p is the standard at the moment, basically.
Yes.
You know, 4K is luxury, 8K is I'm really rich, you know. But for us on the lower echelons, 1080p is the standard, basically, you know. So it should be the target, I think. But yeah, so it's getting sidetracked there. But yeah, so I did that. I played that one to completion, and I thought that was okay. It relied a bit too heavily on... There's lots of stuff to read. A lot of the story is told through like documents that you pick up and stuff.
I don't have time for that.
There was a time when I'd have loved that, but at the moment I don't know. It just I couldn't be bothered with it.
I'd like to be able to, but the reality is I don't have the patience to just sit and read. Books in a game, you know.
Then I started to play Prey.
Okay.
That's made by the same team as Dishonored. Space station, little aliens. They can disguise themselves as any object on the screen, so they could be like a coffee cup or a chair.
That's a bit creepy.
Yeah, so it's very creepy, very scary, very tense.
Like the polymorph in Red Dwarf.
Yes.
Yeah, like that.
Yeah, exactly.
That's pretty cool. That's a good idea for a game. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really good, yeah. Same kind of problems as the other one. Lots of reading. I didn't get that far into it. I found it a bit difficult. Not ashamed to say. I found some of the enemies really overpowered. I haven't played it all the way through. I only played maybe a couple of hours of it, maybe 2-3 hours, and I realised it wasn't really clicking with me at this point, so it's gone back on the shelf for now. I'm going to make a guess. I don't know if this is true, so if this is a spoiler, it's not intended to be. I bet that the person you're playing as turns out to be one of the shapeshifting aliens. That's going to be I bet that'll be the twist. I don't know if I'm right or not.
It's quite a good twist, I suppose.
Yeah, I was going to say it's what I'd do if I wrote it, but yeah. And then finally, I started playing only today. Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order.
Okay, which one's that?
That is, there's
so many Star Wars games. I don't know which one's which.
It's the most recent one that's it's not one of the bad ones with the loot boxes. It's just a good single player story based third person platformy action thing.
Cool.
So far, it's really good. The only thing I would say, there's some really good fighting in it. You get a bunch of stormtroopers. They're all, coming at you. You give them a good old slice with a lightsaber like you do. They fall over and they're dead. So you think, okay, that's fine. You're walking around, you're exploring the area, blah, blah, blah. They just blink out of existence. They just go. The model just... It doesn't fade. It doesn't blink and go.
Even in GoldenEye, they faded away, didn't they?
That's what I mean. I know it saves some resources. Cull the models out of the world. That's fine.
Oh, yeah, of course. Get rid of them, but do it nicely.
Give some sort of fun. They could have made it look like I don't know, wispy effect, as if they were being absorbed into the Force or something. I don't know. Make up something, but don't just have them just disappear.
It's a bit rough, isn't it? Yeah,
it's a bit rough for a game as obviously high budget and polished as the game is. Yeah. And something like that just makes you think, oh, hang on a minute, what's
Do you think that was on their to-do list, and they released the game? All right, we've ticked everything off, we've done really, really well, and then just as it's coming out, say, oh, we forgot about that one. We forgot about that bug. We didn't.
Oh, we didn't
make them fade away in that whooshy thing that we wanted to do. Oh,
it's got to be something. I don't know why they would have left it like that. It's definitely not an artistic decision.
No.
So I don't know.
No,
so I think
the creative team will be going mad with that.
Yeah. So all in all, yeah, I've played through a couple of games. I've binged one game, and I've just started another one. And Poinie's Poin.
Poinie's Poin. Yeah, which was, by the way, is our book club game. That sounds very productive.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well done.
Yeah. Thank you.
Good. Yeah. Well done.
I put the hours in.
You do put the hours. Yeah. Gaming. Do you know what? Gaming is stressful, isn't it? Trying to get all the games in that you want to play.
Yeah.
It's very, very stressful, isn't it?
Yeah. It can be. When you've got a job, it's tough, isn't it? I didn't realise how good we had it when we were at school, and you could just come home and just play games for 6 hours straight in the evening.
Yeah,
not a problem.
And it's even harder when you've got a kid, because you can't even really do it during the day in a weekend, unless it's something really family friendly.
It's difficult.
Times,
there's sometimes and
then you've got to go out and do family stuff. And it's, it just all takes it away from it, doesn't it?
Yeah, there is some. There's sometimes you finish work. I think, right, I'll play a game. I've got half hour.
Yeah.
Oh.
Then you put it in, and it's an update. I can't play it for 20 minutes.
Honestly, the Xbox is the worst for that. At least with PlayStation, you can continue.
That's the thing. Can you continue without the update? Because more
continue
often
without
than not,
the update. I've never been able to get that working with the Xbox. It just says, I don't know if it's even.
You've got to have the update. It's very important.
Nothing worse. There's probably a few things worse, but it's up there.
Oh, it's definitely one of the most common gaming problems that people talk about, isn't it?
Yeah.
People compare it to C64 and 8-bit computer days, where you have to load the tape and it takes 10-20 minutes.
Yeah.
And people just say you haven't moved that far from all those years ago. It's ridiculous, really, if you think about it.
Yeah. I gotta say though, I did think when I was playing Star Wars, the opening of the game is really impressive. It's really epic. It's really. And I honestly, I remember thinking, back when Star Wars Episode 1 came out, that would have been around 2000, 2001, something like that.
I think it was 99 or something.
Was it 99? Yeah.
I think so, yeah.
Might have been. I got, with my paper round money, I bought the PlayStation 1 game, Star Wars Episode 1. Mm-hmm. It's not a very good game, if I'm being honest. But at the time, I was really excited to get home and play it.
Yeah.
And I really enjoyed, I enjoyed it for what, for the time.
Yeah.
I just thought, if I was playing this, if you could show, younger me what a Star Wars game would be now, it would have blown my mind. And I just thought, I just don't ever take for granted how good video games have gotten now, how incredible some of the things they can do are now.
Oh, it's constantly wows you, doesn't it?
It really does, yeah. I think sometimes, especially on, YouTube videos and certain forums and things where, it's really cool to be snarky and dismissive about games, and they go, oh, they didn't even try with this, oh, they made no effort with this, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
You push all that aside and actually look at what is in front of you there,
just the work and hours
that
have gone into
it. It's incredible. It really is. And it's I love games.
I know. Yeah, it's incredible. Yeah, I think how lucky we are as gamers. We've got so much and so much choice and so much effort poured into every single one of them. It's a lot of work to make a game. Especially a AAA game with hundreds of people and an indie game made by one person. They are all tremendous amounts of work put in.
Yeah, it's phenomenal.
And it does annoy me when you get people say, "Oh yeah, no, it's got this thing wrong with it and this thing wrong with it. It's a terrible game."
It's fine to be critical about
of course,
the things you like, but I think what I find hard to get behind is when you hear people say, "Oh, they made no effort here. They made no effort." It's like, really?
Yeah, no, they made effort. They made effort. Things don't always go to plan. You get different opinions, you get different management coming in. It just and deadlines and things like that. There's a lot of complicated factors that you can't say that people didn't put the effort in, because I think pretty much invariably they always do. Yeah. So it's. Yeah.
I mean, again, I'm not saying every game is a passion project. I know some games are, they're corporate products. They're they're designed to sell, but still, that doesn't mean the people working on it, just kick back and just half-assed it. They still put the effort in. But yeah.
That reminds me, you also played another game last month,
didn't you? Yes, I did. Yeah. Slide Stars.
Yeah.
Featuring
what's that about, then?
Holly H? I don't know where it is now. The box is over there somewhere.
Yeah.
20. It features. Get this, not one, but 20 world famous influencers.
Oh, I bet I could name every single one of them. I really do. Yeah.
You really could. Yeah, basically, you play as one of these influencers, not Holly H. So you've got to unlock her. She's on the cover.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. She's on the box, right?
She's on the box, right?
But you can't play as her. She's not like the default character.
She's not the default character, and you've got to unlock her with like 25 stars or something, and that takes a bit of time. Yeah, so basically it's like a water slide thing. You sit on a inflatable flamingo. I've unlocked the flamingo. I've got the banana. There's a rubber ring. There's all sorts of stuff you can get. And you got to slide down and collect things as you go. There's like little bits of fruit you can collect, little stars. There's obstacles and things. The controls are really weird. On the first stage, you can make your character, I don't know the name of them, flop off, and if you wangle jangle the controllers right perfectly, you can make them spin around in the water, so they're like holding onto the banana and doing like somersaults in place, going under the water, over the water, under the water, over the water. I tried to record it with the share button on the PS4, but I couldn't get to get the right bit.
Oh, that's a shame.
Yeah, I mean it's fantastic. I mean, in terms of bang for buck, you can't fault it. You just can't. The star power that it's got with the 20 of the world famous influencers, and they give you little inspirational quotes as well. I think I put one on the Twitter, I think, where one of the influences is, it just comes in the loading screen, it's just got little quotation marks. You know, like when you play Call of Duty, every time you die, it gives you some poignant quote from a philosopher or someone, you know, pointing out the futility of war or something.
Okay,
like that.
I'm not a Call of Duty player, but okay, fair enough. Yeah,
that's what happens basically. Right. So on this, the loading screen comes up, and it comes up a little quote, and it said something along the lines of, "Love the ocean and all the life within it," and then it said, you know, "Cool guy 47" or something, or whatever this influencer's name was. I was like,
as if he's some philosopher.
Yeah, I was like,
brilliant.
Well, that's really amazing. Deep for a game about, you know, riding a flamingo down a water pipe.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
I didn't expect that kind of, you know, insight.
And so the whole point of this was to see if you could get 20 retweets, then it would go in the book club.
Yeah, we got 2, I think.
We got 2, luckily.
Yeah. Yeah. It was only £8 though, so.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, it's one of those sort of real hilarious shovelware sort of games, isn't it? Really.
Yeah, I mean, kind of. My hope was, because. Have you ever bought a game before where you've never heard of it, or you know, you just don't know what it is, and it turns out to be brilliant?
Oh yeah.
And that doesn't happen much these days. And I thought, wow, Slide Stars, that might just be, you know, the diamond in the rough there.
Sometimes you can find games that are weirdly addictive.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't expect them to.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, kind of going back to our point, you know, it doesn't matter what the game is. You know, people can put the effort into something even like that, saying, okay, we've got this job, we might as well make it the best game we can.
Exactly.
You know, there's that Mega Drive one, isn't it? That Treasure made. Was it the McDonald's tie-in one?
Yeah.
That's supposed to be really good, isn't it?
Yeah, it's meant to be really good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you know, Slide Stars. I mean, in terms of, I don't think I've ever seen an inflatable banana rendered so accurately.
Fair
in
enough,
a game.
Yeah.
You know, so
brilliant.
That's something to put on your LinkedIn. Whoever made that, you know, banana artist.
Top banana. Yeah,
top banana.
News. Right. Very good. Should we move on to the news?
Yeah, let's move on to the news.
Okay. I've got some. A lot of Sonic news has kicked off this week. But before I get into that, have you got anything else that you want to talk about?
The new Nintendo game, the Game Maker Garage.
Oh yeah.
That looks really good.
Yeah, I haven't looked at a lot of it. It's
like a game maker.
Like a game maker, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it looks like really kind of simplified and.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's got like a flowchart thing, and you put your code together that way, isn't it?
Yeah. But looking at some of the demos and stuff that you know, they've shown in the trailers and things, it looks like it's really quite flexible. I do wonder how, because obviously the big appeal of those sort of games is not just to make things yourself, but to share them with other players.
Yeah.
And I wonder how flexible Nintendo are going to be. I can imagine Nintendo being quite censorious about what they allow on their network and things. So
yeah,
you know, I'd be interested to see what people come up with, but because there's that software Dreams on the PlayStation we've talked about before, I think.
Yes.
Where you can make games, and people started making recreations of Mario games in there, and I believe that was given the banhammer. Either, I don't know if it was cease and desist by Nintendo, or if Nintendo had a hand in it, but I know a lot of them were, you know, taken down all of a sudden, all the ones that had Mario.
Maybe they took it down for fear of Nintendo.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. So, you know, I do wonder how strict it's going to be, what stuff you can share, and how much freedom people are going to have to make things. But I like the concept of it, and it's getting a physical release, so it's all
brilliant.
good.
Oh yeah. There's a lot of game making kind of stuff going on these days, isn't there? Whether it's like an engine that you could do on the PC or, just an actual game. It's interesting. Yeah.
But that was the only bit of news I could think of. There's probably something really obvious I've forgotten, but no.
Yeah. Yeah. So there was there's a Sonic Central event this week that happened. It was like a Nintendo Direct, but for Sonic. Finally revealing some 30th anniversary stuff they're doing after being silent for the whole year so far.
What are your thoughts?
So interesting. So we've got Sonic Colors Ultimate, which is a re-release of Sonic Colors. Sonic Origins, which is another compilation, but interesting for two things. It's got Sonic 1, Sonic 2, Sonic 3, Sonic and Knuckles, and Sonic CD on it. First time they've popped up in a long time.
Yes.
The big $1 million question being, will they have the music that's supposedly seems to be causing them a problem in it, or what will they do with it? And
the second $1 million question,
is it going to be the Christian Whitehead engine behind it?
One would hope, but
well, if you look at the trailer, Sonic 1, 2 and CD are all widescreen. Sonic 3 Knuckles aren't. However, since then it has been confirmed by someone at Sega that they will be widescreen. So obviously they're doing something with it. You would think for the other games it would be far easier to put those versions in because they've already been made.
Yeah.
Just put them in, and rather than having to make a whole new one with widescreen in it, that would seem very silly, wouldn't it? So you would hope that that's what they would do, and then you would hope that they would. Well, you would hope that they would use the retro engine to make Sonic 3 Knuckles, but maybe they think it's easier just to hack the ROM, much like fans have been able to do lately.
Yeah. So, I mean, I've got to be honest. It's such an easy win for Sega, really. 30th anniversary, whack out a compilation disc. You've got the engine, it works. Just put the Christian Whitehead Sonic 1, Sonic 2. We know he made a proof of concept of the Sonic 3. I'm sure you could get him on board to just polish up any bits and pieces, get the Sonic 3 out there. Sonic CD is already, there's a Christian Whitehead version of Sonic CD.
Yeah.
Sonic and Knuckles is the same as Sonic 3, so, if it works for one, it'll work for the other. Just put them out. Whack on a few bonus content on there, and you're done. Easy money. I'm really worried they're going to fumble it, and it's just going to be... I don't want to think about the worst case scenario. That PS4 Mega Drive compilation.
You're not a fan of that one.
It's dreadful. It's so bad. It's so bad. How can Sonic 1 drop frames on a PS4? It's unbelievable. So I'm really worried that they're just going to fumble it, but I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, you would think, just going by the fact that they're widescreen would suggest that they, at the very least, those Christian Whitehead versions will be on consoles, which is what we've been asking for ages now.
But then the Switch versions of Sonic 1 and 2 are widescreen, and they're not the Christian Whitehead ones.
Are they widescreen? I don't think they are. I think they're boxed, aren't they?
Are they?
They've got graphics next to them.
Oh, I thought
believe.
They were widescreen.
I'm pretty sure they do. No, I think the only widescreen Sonics are the Christian Whitehead ones officially.
Oh, okay. The plot thickens.
Yeah. So that would be the obvious thing to do, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
And it would be lovely if they had more features as well, like making every character playable in every zone, in every character combination, like Sonic and Tails in Sonic 1, That'd be great for me and my daughter, because then we could play all of them,
Yeah.
And even things like little challenges, like taking a portion of a level, changing the objects around and saying, okay, get all the rings in this before the time limit expires, and things like that, like little nuggets to expand on these games and make them feel a bit fresher, I'd love something like that. It'd be really cool.
There's so much they could do with it, and I like I say, I don't want to fall into the trap that I fell into earlier, that I said other people fall into, where they say, they're not putting any effort in. I'm conscious that I'm skirting that line, but I don't think it would take much in the way of resources and development time for Sega to put out the Christian Whitehead versions and just stick on a load of, they must have an archive full of old TV adverts and radio adverts and making of things that they've recorded. Just whack it all on there. Just put it all on
whatever
there.
you can find.
Yeah.
Even if it's some of the same stuff they've done before, like in Sonic Jam had a load of that stuff.
Yeah.
Just put it all on there.
Just pile it all on.
Chuck in the Game Gear games. They're only a few kilobytes each, whatever they are.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a no-brainer. That one.
I mean, you could really do a definitive Sonic retro collection.
Yeah. With all the old 2D platformers.
Yeah, and I can't imagine, because it's all first-party Sega developed stuff, with the exception of the legal issues of Sonic 3.
Yeah.
There's not like there's any rights issues to overcome, surely. You can just whack it all on there.
Yeah. Well, I mean, fingers crossed. We'll see.
I'll be buying it.
It's got potential.
I'll be buying it anyway, because I'm an idiot.
I will.
So,
yeah, of course. I need another way to play Sonic 1.
I was going to say, I've got I've got to have the pay for Sonic 2 the 17th or 18th time.
Yeah, please take my money. Yeah.
Yes.
So we'll keep an eye on that one. There's a Sonic Symphony coming, which I'm quite excited about.
That'd be quite interesting.
Classical interpretations of Sonic tunes. Would be a little concert. Would be lovely to watch. And the big new Sonic game coming that they teased and didn't tell us much about, but since due to did you see this, like an incorrect press release that they didn't mean to send out to all like the to all the the game's news companies. They sent the wrong press release basically, and it revealed that the title of the game is Sonic Rangers, and they didn't mean to say that. So it's pretty unofficially, it's unknown, but pretty much it's known as Sonic Rangers. Anyway, it's supposed to be an open world game. Have you heard this rumor?
No,
it's going to be, because apparently people have play tested it, like an early build, like almost like a focus group thing, and like these messages have appeared in various places, coming from back in January, but they sort of surfaced now. The rumor is that it's going to be like an open world kind of deal, with Sonic just running around an open place and doing challenges, and I think it'll have little more normal levels within it, but kind of a Breath of the Wild kind of thing. I think it'll be interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, it'll be an interesting take on the open world, because you don't normally get a character that can move that fast in such a big, large, expansive
I was thinking
thing.
that it's going to have to be a pretty big map, isn't there?
It's going to have to be a big map, yeah. But sort of the freedom to run around that fast might be quite nice as a thing to experience.
Yeah. Sonic Rangers?
Yeah, no, I'm not sure about the name either.
It makes me think it's going to be more long. It's going to be less Sonic and more lots of sidekicks.
Yeah, maybe. I don't
know. I don't know. I might be wrong. I know people who grew up on the modern Sonic games love all the sidekicks and stuff.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah.
So it's a matter of taste. But why haven't they said Sonic Mania 2?
Well, yeah, that would be the next question. Yeah, it's almost getting to the point now where it's not too late. You could release it any time, but it feels a bit too late to capitalize on it. Do you know what I mean? Like if they were going to do it, they would have done it by now. I mean. So what's going on?
Yeah, what is going on?
I mean, that team have formed an official company now. I think they're called Evening Star. The question being, what are they working on? Are they doing something original, or are they doing that?
They just. I honestly, I love Sega, but they confuse me. They baffle me with their decisions. I just don't understand. it. I mean, Sonic Mania sold more. That was like one of the best-selling Sonic games of recent history. One of the best rated critically and in terms of fans. Everyone loves it. No one dislikes Sonic Mania. It's sold by the bucket load. So what have they done? Put it on the back burner.
You can always rely on Sega to never do the obvious.
No, I know.
Whatever it is, they will not necessarily do it right away, will they?
The whole world is clamouring for a Sonic Mania 2. Everyone said when the first one came out, make another one and just let them do all original zones.
Yeah.
Just give them free rein to do whatever they want, because this is brilliant. Let's see what they can, let's see how they can iterate on this and make it better.
Yeah.
And silence.
Yeah. I know, it's the most gut-wrenching thing, isn't it?
It is. You know.
Yeah.
I mean, I like Sonic Colors. You know, it's one of the better of the modern Sonics.
It's a good game. Yeah.
It is a good game. Yeah.
Mm.
But I don't know if anyone was clamouring for a HD remake of it. Whereas everyone wanted Sonic Mania 2.
Certainly more people want Sonic Mania 2
Yeah.
than Sonic Colors HD.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know.
But
I think Sega seem to be in... They don't have a lot of money, I don't think. They don't have a lot of resources these days.
no.
You tend to feel like, they'll do a big game occasionally, like the Sonic Rangers thing, but everything else is kind of like the cheapest possible thing they can do to get something out sometimes, it feels like, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And so maybe Sonic Mania 2 is just too expensive. I don't know. It doesn't strike me as a particularly expensive game.
Well, not compared to the sort of 3D what do they call them, the dash style, sprint
Boost
style,
games,
boost
yeah.
style, yeah. Like the boost style games. I don't know. I like Sonic. I'm gonna end up buying whatever comes out basically because I like to moan and then just enable them by buying whatever they put out.
Yes.
But just forget it, Sega. Do whatever you want. It's fine.
Yeah, ultimately it doesn't really matter, does it? We'll buy it well. Yeah.
We're going to buy it anyway.
Yeah.
Fine.
Okay.
But no, I think it'd be interesting to see what they do. I got the feeling that there were more announcements to come.
I think they're holding their cards a bit close to it.
Yeah,
I
don't think that was the whole of the. That's Sonic Celebration. Thanks for coming. See you next year.
They said as much. They said more stuff is coming.
There's definitely more coming on the way. So hopefully, we'll see what else they got coming up. But Anyway, Sega, podemup@gmail.com if you want any help, with your franchise.
We're here all the time,
just,
as a,
official Podemup consultancies. Yes. Hey.
Yeah. Okay. So, shall we move on?
Yeah, let's do it.
Poinie's Poin.
Poinie's Poin.
No, I hadn't heard of it either. But you're going to hear about it after this break.
Yes.
The Video Game Book Club.
Welcome back. This month we're talking about Poinie's Poin.
Poinie's Poin.
This is a Japanese-only release for the PS2 from September 2002, and it's developed by Albion Co. Limited, published by Sony Interactive Entertainment. I think this is by far our most obscure game so far.
I was going to say, I know usually you read out like a little paragraph of notes that you found somewhere.
Yeah.
The game doesn't even have a game FAQs page.
It doesn't have a Wikipedia page.
It's got nothing.
There aren't any copies on eBay at all.
I got one.
Oh, what, recently?
Yeah, before the show.
Yeah.
Before the show, I got one on eBay.
Okay.
£20.
Okay. I wanted an idea of price because I got literally none.
Yeah, £20.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how did you hear about it? Where did you find this?
I heard about it on a YouTube channel, Did You Know Gaming?
Right.
They do like a regular series called Region Locked, where they talk about games that were only released in one region and nowhere else.
Okay.
And I think that it was just one segment on a episode about obscure Japanese games.
Mm-hmm.
And the minute I saw it, I thought, that's a podemup game. We've got to get that on the go. So yeah.
So this was the first time you played it or you played it before?
I played a little bit of it before,
Okay.
but as we'll go into, I shelved it until I played enough that I thought, yeah, this is going to be good for the show, and then I shelved it so we could play it through proper.
Okay, cool. Yes, so it's a 3D platformer essentially, in which you play as a small child called Poinie who loses his mother in Jellytown. While trying to find her, he encounters a girl called Lilin who introduces Poinie to the Poins, coloured orbs that can manipulate the emotions of other characters in order to solve platforming puzzles. I'm writing. Obviously, I've written all this out. It's just, unlike all the other games, is with no help from Wikipedia whatsoever. I've had to do all the work and come up with my own.
You want to make the Wikipedia page?
I kind of do. Yeah. I could just stick this in. Yeah, I probably should. Yeah, someone needs to. So Poinie must explore all of Jellytown in search for his missing mother, meeting many hilarious characters as he goes, and dealing with Lolo, another little girl, accompanied by a gang of cats called the Hell Meows, who seem hell-bent, for some reason, on the supply of poison poins to the residents of the town. It's an interesting game, you know. It's
yeah.
I like the personality in it.
Yes.
And I like the characters, and I love the dialogue.
Yes.
Because this is a Japanese-only game, but it's in full English, including voices.
Yeah, I get the impression that it was intended to get an international release at some point.
Yes.
Just because of the amount of effort that's gone into all the voicing, and
there's loads of dialogue in it.
There's loads of dialogue. It's all voiced, and it's voiced well.
Yeah.
For the most part.
Yeah, it is voiced well. It's voiced humorously, definitely.
Yeah. So they haven't cheaped out on the voices. It's not like they've just got, a bunch of agency actors who've never read a role before, and it's just like, they put the effort in. It's really...
They do put the effort in.
Yeah.
I do love the occasional, errors and stuff in there, because it's not all perfect English, it's not all perfect spelling. And I love that you get the feeling that it hasn't had although they have intended it for a Western release, they haven't had, someone... in one of those countries look over it. Really. They've had some translator in Japan do it all, and they haven't really fully gone through it in a fine-tooth comb, I think I posted this screenshot on Twitter. There's a character called Tom, and at one point he says this, "What am I, sticky buggers?"
It's brilliant. I love it.
I mean, I don't know what that's supposed to be.
I know. What does that mean?
What am I, sticky buggers? I mean... yeah, I don't know.
I don't know what it means, but I'm going to endeavour to use it in my day-to-day life.
Yeah, sticky buggers.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah. So, Tibbs, the report was due on Wednesday. Look, what am I, sticky buggers?
To sort of coin that phrase would be great, wouldn't it? To sort of introduce it as
all occasions. It's
Oh yeah. Well, my sticky buggers. I mean, it's great, isn't it?
Exactly.
Me too. I'm going to use that.
Yeah. So what's a poin?
What is a poin? It's an orb that can influence emotions.
But then, we haven't mentioned the Cartman Poin, have we?
Yeah. So when you meet Lilin, this girl, she basically entrusts this small child with saving the whole town for some... She literally just meets him. Oh yeah, you'll do. Save us, please. No, I'm looking for my mum here. That in the whole game, he's kind of just asking everyone where his mum is.
Yeah.
But he's also got this important quest to do at the same time. I kind of like that juxtaposition. But yeah, she gives him this what we'll call the Cartman Poin, a talking Poin with a bit of an attitude, who sounds exactly like Eric Cartman from South Park.
It is exact.
It's not just that it sounds a bit like him; it just sounds exactly like him. Yeah. Hey, Green.
Yeah.
Pea, get off the pot.
Pea, get off the pot.
I know. And he's always coming on to Lilin as well whenever they're in the scene together, aren't they?
A babe in need is a babe indeed.
Yeah, I know. He's like a really sleazy little Poin that hangs off the tail of Poinie.
But that's what I mean. What are poins then?
What are poins? I mean,
are they all sentient? Are they all alive?
That one is, but he's the only example.
That's what I mean.
As far as I could see, yeah.
That's terrific.
Yeah. So you've got an open world, a hub world is what I mean to say, of Jellytown, where all the levels are connected to them, a bit like Sonic Adventure. So you go into a level and it's got these characters wandering around, and some of them are enemies and some of them are inhabitants, but they're all the same person. It's just the enemy might have had a red point on him. So red points make you angry, blue points make you sad, and yellow points make you happy. And if you throw a point at a character, it will take on that emotion. So if you throw a red point at one of them, he'll sort of become an enemy and could start trying to attack you. Generally,
yeah.
But you might need him to be red in order for him to knock down like a door or something blocking your way. And then similarly, there's an instance where two characters are in like a little sort of dried up lake, and you have to give them both blue points to sort of cry and to fill up the lake with the tears. So it's things like that, sort of little puzzle platforming kind of deal.
Yeah.
So that's essentially what points are. I mean, I think it transpires they're sort of alien stuff, aren't they?
Yeah.
Towards the end. But and you can also float with them. If you grab a point, you can sort of, if you hold the jump button, you can float across gaps and stuff. So it's all the platform is kind of related to that. It's quite simple kind of stuff.
Yeah, it's quite a neat little mechanic, though.
It is a neat mechanic. I can't think of a similar one.
I was going to say it's quite a unique little game, really.
Yeah, because you don't normally get the ability to influence like enemies and stuff.
No,
and change their behaviour,
change their emotions and stuff, and that's not something I've come across.
No, it's a good idea.
Yeah,
definitely.
I'm sensing there's a big but coming here from you.
The but is that I found most of the platforming is fine. There are a couple of instances I found very frustrating. The camera, and I'm not one of those people that always goes on about cameras in games because I find it a bit kind of tedious. Most cameras are fine. This one's very rigid.
Yeah.
You can only really reset it sort of to where you're pointing to. You can't, and that made jumps quite difficult because you can't look down.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
So that was quite frustrating. There was a bit, and there's something a little bit weird about the jump as well. You don't quite, if you're holding the jump button down, you don't quite get the height sometimes that you expect it to. But then sometimes it's very, I don't know how to describe it, but it's very kind of finicky about it sometimes.
Yeah.
There was a point, it was where you got the dried up lake, and there was some quite precarious platforms, and there's a higher ledge connected to it, and you had to use a point to stand on the point and then jump from the point to the ledge, and you can position the point where you want, but there's a character always standing there, and I got so frustrated with this time and time again. I just kept not jumping right and not getting it, and every time I fell I landed in front of this person, and that triggers them to talk, and just kept talking the same thing over and over and over again, and I almost threw the controller. I got so cross. I did get past it, and luckily you don't have to go back to that bit because the lake then fills up. But yeah, there was just a couple of bits like that kind of unsettled me a bit and just made it feel like a little bit more janky and a little bit not quite as good as it could be.
I can agree with that. The thing I found particularly, I didn't finish the game.
No, I didn't either. I
didn't finish it, but I spent far too long on the opening sections of the game. I find it a bit. Sometimes it can feel a bit like one of those "where am I supposed to go" kind of games.
Yes.
And I wandered around, and particularly there's a bit. I can't remember. I think you might have got stuck on the same bit when you did it on the live stream.
Yeah.
In the sewer.
Yeah.
I just didn't know where I was supposed to go.
And it was confusing. Yeah.
Yeah, and there's a bit where Cartman says to you, you can climb on these and you can climb on these and reach higher platforms or something. But he says it before you even get to the point where that thing is. So I was looking around there in this tunnel like, well, what am I supposed to be climbing on then? Yeah,
that's basically the tutorial level, isn't it? To introduce you to the mechanics. But it wasn't particularly laid out very well.
No.
For that reason, there's a lot of sort of tight spaces. There was puzzle rooms where I got through, but I didn't know how I did it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You had to change all the guys' emotions, to a certain thing. But I was just throwing points around, and eventually the door opened, and I wasn't quite sure what I did.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
Yeah, I spent far too long on that tutorial level.
Yeah.
Than I think I should have done. Really, I think it's meant to be like a quick 5-minute level, and I spent a lot longer than 5 minutes on it.
Yeah.
And the first boss, where the meows they all pull up in the car.
Yeah.
I found that so difficult.
Oh, do you mean the petite gang?
The petite gang, yeah.
Yeah. I know what you mean. I kind of like that boss because it was quite a good idea, I suppose.
Yeah.
Basically, the petite gang. I really like the petite gang, and I love Tom, the leader, because he's a little guy. He's got a big nose, very cute. They're just like 3 little kind of infants, basically, but they're so aggressive.
I know.
Little Poinie's just wandered into their base, and he's just like he's cruising for a bruising. This Tom guy, he's really picking on him, really picking a fight. He's like, his voice is like, it's like the voice actor held his nose while he's talking.
Yes.
So he's doing like, I'm gonna bust you up. And he just sounds so funny. He seems like you could like put your, that thing where you put your hand on his forehead and he can't quite get you. That kind of little thing.
He's like swinging like Scrappy Doo.
Yeah. He's a lovely little character, and he's really funny. And then you got his girlfriend is kind of constantly like egging him on. And then the other member just doesn't seem to have a clue what's going on. He's just always complaining like he's hungry or feeling sick, and he just doesn't. He's just completely out of it, basically. And the characters are really funny and really really entertaining. I think that's really what if you're going to push through with this game, it'll be the characters and the charm of it that pushes you through. I think definitely.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I mean, it's the Poin mechanic is really quite good, but it's not going to be the gameplay that keeps you going. I think it's going to be the overall package. It's not just going to be because you enjoy points.
The Poin mechanic is a good idea that isn't quite fleshed out as much as I would like. You're limited to just the 3 emotions. It's got things like if only 2 points are there, you can merge them together to create the third one. But sometimes I felt like the points didn't have the effect I expected. Like I would give them a blue one and they wouldn't be sad, they would be angry sometimes. Did you ever find that? I was really confused in some places.
I can't think of a time like that.
Maybe it's just me, but I felt like I was getting the wrong end of the stick, like there was an idea that I was missing. Were they already angry, so a different kind of emotion affects them in a different way? Maybe,
yeah. I can't remember... Yeah, I can't remember off the top of my head. Is it a case like that they're in stages? So if like they go like angry, neutral, sad, or and I don't know. I can't remember.
No, there's an odd sort of sense that I was getting that I wasn't quite getting it. And maybe I wasn't. Maybe there's a deeper mechanic there that makes it more interesting. But
there could be. Like you say though, I mean, when you said about the tutorial level where you just sort of chucked points about until the doors opened. I took that approach to the game in general sometimes.
Yeah, me too. Yeah,
I'm just going to brute force it. Just chuck some points about.
You kind of can, because there's the bosses as well, aren't they? They're usually a sort of an ordinary character that has been poisoned by these poison points. And they just start going after you, and they're pretty big, and you've got to chuck a specific point at them at specific times. There's a colour in the top corner, and you've got to match it. And they're kind of they're a bit meh, I would say.
Yeah, I
do agree with that. A bit fairly formulaic. They're all kind of the same. They mix it up a bit with the bird guy. I wrote his name down. I can't remember what he's called now. Pillow. Did you get that fight? It's in the jungle.
I don't think I got that far. I think I frustrated.
Well, that one is essentially the same, but instead of him being a boss, he's building a house, and you just have to give him the coloured point that he wants to paint his house with. So it's a boss, and there are those little hell meows running around, but it feels like a more constructive kind of boss than just a battle. Do you know what I mean? Even though it's essentially the same thing. Yeah, it's just an interesting twist on it. I got a bit further than that, but I didn't finish it. I only got, I would say, about halfway through the game, but I did watch the rest on YouTube.
Yeah.
Did you do that as well, or did you?
Yeah, I've watched bits on YouTube. Yeah, I couldn't find a full playthrough though. I don't know if anyone's.
I did.
Completed
Yeah,
it. Oh, did you?
I found one that was in about 12 parts.
Oh right, okay.
It's about a 6 or 7 hour game. And yeah, there was but the YouTube is funny about that sometimes, isn't it? Sometimes I'm playing a part and it just goes to a completely different video, and I'm like, well, why didn't you just go to the next part? And sometimes they're hard to track down, aren't they? Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah, I would say. What did you like the art style of the game?
Yeah,
it grew on me. I found it's very bold. It
is. Yeah, there's a lot of bold, bright colours.
Yeah, I think it'd probably be a bit of an acquired taste. I think.
Yeah, I did quite like the boldness.
It grew on me.
Yeah, I mean it's it's sort of. It's not particularly early PS2. It's kind of mid PS2, and it's some of the models are quite blocky, but I think it works with the art style because the art style is simplified. You know, it's not like complex textures or anything. It's sort of, a lot of the time it's just sort of almost one color, per part of a model.
Yeah.
So I quite liked it. The music was quite good as well. Some sort
the music's quite good.
Tunes in there.
Yeah, I don't know. I listened to the theme tune over and over again to try and figure out what they're saying, but all I could hear is mysterious power. I don't know what the rest of it is.
I think it says adults, they will never know the mysterious power. That's what I got.
Oh,
maybe. He's a kid. But
yeah,
the mysterious power is, I don't. Poins, presumably.
Power of the Poins. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I suppose so. It's got a really weird kind of intro, isn't it? Really.
Yeah. Ram Jam Space Paris.
Oh yeah, I mean that's the other thing, that like the nonsensical catchphrases just fly all around in this game, don't they? His is yippee yo, you can't touch this.
You can't touch this.
Yeah. Tom's is check it to the genius. I don't know what that means. And even less sensical than that is the Lolo's, who's like the arch rival, I suppose, who keeps popping up. Hers is nanny nanny boo boo. I mean, and she just says it to like end the dialogue. I mean, okay, fine.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's a weird game, as you would expect.
It's a weird game, yeah.
It's but if you're into that kind of thing, I think there's, the charm. As I said before, the charm carries it through. If it didn't have that, it would be kind of a bit of a dud game, I would say.
Yeah. Yeah, I think if you like the kind of games we cover, then it's probably going to be worth your time to try it out.
Yeah, if you can track it down.
down.
I emulated it, and that was fine on my PC. There'll be ways of playing it.
Hang on a second, I'm just going over to the shelf where it is here. Let me tell you. I got the... Oh, here we go, hang on. So on the cover, it says Poinie's Poin, as you'd expect, but it also says dope with that's spelled DOOPE.
Yeah.
Then it says Jellytown Original, sweet flavour, addicted, 100% pure Poin. I can't imagine anyone picking up that box and having any idea what that game's about.
That you feel like Japan does that a lot, don't they? They take English or American phrases and just stick them on
anywhere.
Things, because to a Japanese eye who doesn't speak English, it just looks cool, doesn't it?
Yeah.
In the same way that Japanese text kind of looks cool to us.
do you ever watch? We're going on a sidetrack here, but do you ever watch? There's a YouTube channel, Abroad in Japan.
No, I don't know.
There's a guy. He moved to Japan to teach English, and he ended up staying there.
Yeah.
And he does the videos about life in Japan, basically.
Okay.
But he does a few videos, a series of examples of Japanese people using English completely devoid of context. And there's he goes down down to the sort of city centre and stuff, and they've got a massage parlour there called Sexy Friendly Club.
I love it. Brilliant.
So yeah, it's great.
I totally believe that. That's the kind of thing they do, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, So yeah, I would say I'd give it a recommendation. I'm not going to say it's the best game you're ever going to play.
Yeah.
But
I would give it a cautious recommendation.
I'd give it a cautious recommendation.
A try out, or just check it out on YouTube if you're not sure.
Yeah.
Don't spend a lot of money on it. It's probably not worth it. But yeah, if you're in the position to just try it out, definitely give it a try. And yeah, it's got some interesting ideas. I just think they could have been implemented a bit better.
Yeah. I can see why, if it was, and I get the impression it was intended for an international release. I can see why they pulled the plug on it.
Yeah.
I don't know if it would have much mainstream appeal.
Not mainstream, I wouldn't have thought.
No.
But then again, you do get those weird games that slip through the net, don't you?
Yeah, you do sometimes. Things like, Mr. Mosquito and Parappa the Rapper.
Katamari Damacy.
Katamari Damacy, yeah. Some of them
examples.
Filter through, but...
yeah, this didn't... I think the gameplay didn't carry it through, because those examples have good... They're weird and crazy, but they have good gameplay, and this just isn't quite strong enough.
They're very accessible, and I don't know if this is quite as accessible as those ones, but I still enjoy it. I'm glad I played it.
Yeah, me too.
Yo! You can't touch this!
Right, so we've got a couple of exciting things coming up.
Lay 'em on me.
In the next 2 episodes. So I'm going to tell you my book club pick, and you know what series this is from. The listener doesn't. But what I will say is we're not going to play it next month. We've got something else lined up next month. It's not a book club. It's none of our normal features. It's something else. I'm going to get to that in a second. The month after, so probably July, we will be playing a Legend of Zelda game. The Legend of Zelda game we will be playing is Minish Cap on the Game Boy Advance.
Oh, okay.
So
I was sure it was going to be Ocarina of Time, but Minish Cap
well,
is okay.
See, I was umming and ahhing about this, and it almost feels too epic, because those kind of games, I mean, I don't know how you'll get on with them, but they're just something really, really special.
Okay.
Not to do a disservice of the games we've covered or the games that we will cover in the rest of the year, but it would, to put those up against something like Ocarina of Time, or in my opinion Wind Waker, and the Podemup Awards at the end of the year would be. It's just not the same. You would. It's something. I don't know. I just don't think it would work. I think you have to kind of go away and play them. I don't know, but it's just and we kind of often focus on the sort of the more quirkier and the less known games anyway.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, it's a fairly well known game, but it's not,
It's not as well known, no, definitely.
No, it's made by Capcom for one thing, not Nintendo. So, but it hits all the beats that you would expect in a Zelda game.
Okay.
And I have heard it described as a good beginner's Zelda.
Oh, perfect.
It is top down. It's actually the only top down 2D Zelda game I've played in full. I was debating between this and A Link to the Past, which is the SNES one. I have played about half of that, and I stopped halfway because I got a little bit frustrated with it, but that was a long, long time ago. I'm sure it's a really good game. Everyone says it is. But I was just thinking there's something about this game that we might enjoy better, I think.
Okay.
And it kind of fits a little bit more with the kind of games we play, I think. So, yeah, that's what we'll be playing. We wanted to have a longer go at this sort of game because it's not super long. I think it's about 15 to 20 hours.
Yeah, maybe. But I think with RPGs you need to give a bit more time to them anyway.
Yeah,
really.
I know, and I wouldn't in a month. I wouldn't have the time to finish that.
No,
anyway.
Definitely.
So that's what we're doing. That'll be our July episode. So look forward to that. In our June episode, and this has been a very Sonic focused show already, but it's going to be the next month is going to be exclusively Sonic focused. This is the Sonic 30th anniversary music spectacular. We are talking about 30 different Sonic games for the 30th anniversary. We're playing 30 different tracks, one from each of those games. And yeah, that's going to be the show. We're going to have a good old chat about Sonic.
Yeah.
For once.
Yes. For once.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I think it'd be good. He's a good hedgehog.
He's a good hedgehog, and we talk about him all the time, so I figured he deserves his own episode exclusively. That's what we're going to be doing. Yeah. So it's a music episode, a bit like our Mega Drive one that I did, but we'll both be in it, and we'll both be discussing stuff.
Do you see that hedgehog on Twitter? All its spines fell out.
No, I didn't.
Oh, poor little thing. Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to laugh at that.
No,
it's just, it's more the way you brought it up. I don't know.
Well, talking about hedgehogs, yeah. All his spines fell out. He just looks like a little Yorkshire pudding, basically.
Oh, poor little fella.
Yeah, I think they feed him now.
How does that happen then?
I suppose it's like, I don't know. I'm just gonna make it up. It's like alopecia, I suppose. He probably just got a bit stressed, in his day-to-day, the daily grind, being a hedgehog, eating grubs and whatever. Just got to him a bit, and that's it. Bam, woke up in the morning in a nest of his own spines.
Yeah.
That's never a situation you want to find yourself in, but luckily, he was in a sanctuary, or he is now. So I can't remember his name. I'm going to look him up now while you, you cover me with what you're doing.
I'll cover you by reminding the listeners of the ways you can contact us. So you can talk to us on email. We are podemup@gmail.com. We are on Twitter @podemup. On Twitch, we're twitch.tv/podemup, and podemup.live is our little website. I might stream some Sonic games between now and then.
Oh yeah, that'd be good.
Just to set the mood.
He was called Ratty, but this is a different one. So Ratty, he's a hedgehog. His spines fell out, but he's grown them back now, and he's back out in the hedges. That was because of an infection. This is the one I think. We go. Bold hedgehog gets daily massages with almond oil. There we go. To keep his skin soft and smooth, which is, that's an important for the hedgehog about town.
It is, yeah. It's just a funny headline, isn't it, really?
Yeah, what's his name? Nelson. There we go. Nelson the hedgehog. He's the fastest thing alive, it says.
Nice.
Nelson, he can really move. Nelson, he's got an attitude, apparently. So, yeah. There you go. When he's greased up with his almond oil, there's no stopping him.
No, absolutely.
There's a thought to keep you going, and so get in touch with us, and we will be back whenever it is we're back. Probably,
if we line everything up, I'll probably aim for on or around the big Sonic birthday, which is 23rd of June. So, look for us then.
Yeah.
For our Sonic episode, and Zelda one in July. So, thanks very much for listening.
It's a packed schedule.
It is. It's busy. We've got a lot to do.
Summer spectacular.
It is. Pod'em Up Summer Spectacular. Don't miss it.
Don't miss it.
Bye.
Bye.